Target B notes, okay, are going to be talking about the same thing which we've been talking, transformations, okay? When we talk about transformations, I always told you match the points from the first image to the second image so you guys could figure out what kind of transformation is happening, okay? I always match those points. Okay, well now for target B, we're going to use those points to name the second triangle, okay? And we're going to name them by using points, okay? Something that you should know is that every triangle, okay, has 3 sides, 3 points, 3 angles, okay? 3, 3, 3. 3 sides, 3 points, and 3 angles. So we're going to use those 3 points to name the triangles. Okay, but the main thing about this is that we always have to match the same order. Okay, so that's the main thing in here. Okay. Okay, so question number 1, it says complete the triangle congruent statement. If not possible, select not possible. Okay, again, we're talking about congruence. Some of you guys forgot what congruence meant. Congruence or congruent, or the word congruent, means that they're equal to each other, they're the same. Okay. So question number 1A, it says triangle WZY is reflected about the line YZ. They're telling you that it's going to be reflected. Again, don't forget that reflection uses a line. The line that they're going to use is going to be WZ. Okay, so again, we're going to connect those points. Not W, Y and Z, my bad. Y is right there and Z is right here. That means that they're using this line to reflect the triangles. Again, reflect is just the mirror image, okay? So, let's see what triangle they're talking about. I'm going to change my color here to, let's switch it to blue. Okay, WZY. Okay, this is a first point. W, this is a first point. Z, this is a second point. And then Y, third point. Connect them, okay? And then you're going to notice what triangle they're talking about. They're going to talk about this triangle. This is your first triangle. This first triangle is being reflected to the second triangle over here. How are we going to name that triangle? Again, the order matches, the order matters. You need to create the same pattern. If your first point was W and it's being reflected, don't forget that W is going to be now X. So X is going to be your first point. So the way that I'm going to start the next triangle is going to be obviously triangle, X, okay? And then from there, W, it went to Z. This is the second point. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go from X to Z, okay? So that's the second point. And then it went to your third point, which is Y. So I'm going to go up to Y. Again, third point. So this is how I'm going to name the second triangle. X, Z, Y. Okay. Both of them are using, again, the same line, Y and Z. Okay. So if they put the order of WZY, then ZY is a line that they're using to reflect. So they both of them have to have the same thing, right? But they started with point W, so you needed to start with the same point. In this case, it's going to be X. Okay, so that's my final answer. My final answer is triangle XZY. All right, 1B, it says triangle LNP is being reflected with the line NP. So they're using again NP to reflect. Okay. And don't forget that when we name a line, you could go from NP or PN. You can name them the same way. This is the same thing as saying PN. It's the same thing. You're using both points to form the line. So that's the line that we're going to reflect. We're going to use to reflect the triangles. So again, we're going to have to follow the order. It starts with L and P. Let me change my color here to pink. L is the first point, so this is the first point. N, P, and it goes all the way up to N. So it goes up to N. is your second point, and then goes down to P. So P is your third point. All right, again, since it was reflected, L is going to be moving to this side, which is going to be M, okay? P and N stay the same because it's the same line for both of them, okay? What I want you to understand is that we have this triangle, okay? But this line is the same thing as this one because we are using it to reflect. So that's why we have one big triangle like this. But there's two little triangles in there, okay? So that's why we're using N and P for both of them. So the way I'm going to name this triangle is going to start with M because it's the same point as L. This is the first point. So M, and then it went up to N. So N is the second point, and it went down to P. So P is the last point. This is how I'm going to name the second triangle. So triangle LNP is the same thing as triangle MNP. And again, here's a hint. NP, NP, right? They started with L. That means I need to start with M. Okay? Follow the order. That's what matters here. Okay? You cannot just name this as NMP. Even though we're talking about the same triangle, yes, but the order matters. Okay? Same thing with question number 2. Okay? Question number 1 was telling you it was being reflected. Now question 2 is telling you that the blue triangle is rotated about the point O. Okay, so again, when we rotate, we focus on a point, right? That point that we're focusing on is right here. The blue triangle is our first triangle. That means that the second triangle is the red one. All right, for this one, okay, you're going to have to use rotation of 90 degrees. And how do I know it's 90? Because look at the image, rotation of 90, okay? And you could rotate to the left or you could rotate from the right. Once we have the red triangle, we could go back and forth to it. Blue to red or red to blue. We can always go back to it. We're rotating 90 degrees no matter what. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is match the points. Okay, I always told you that. Match them. So you guys see where the points are going to be. If blue is the first one and it's being rotated to the second one, look at the image, okay? The point, the top of the point of the triangle, okay, is going to be X, and then this one is going to be N. That means that N is your X, okay? Then next, you need to still label Z and Y. Well, remember, this is a 90, so we need to connect it to which one makes an L shape. Is it going to be with M, or is it going to be with L? Which one creates a 90-degree image? In this case, don't forget that 90 degrees looks like a straight L. Okay, which one has the straight L? It's going to be with point L. Okay, point L and Y make an L shape. You see with point M is a little bit smaller. Okay, and we need a 90. That means that Y is your L. And when common sense, finally, Z has to be M. Okay. That's how I test it out, how to find those matching points. It has to create 90, so it has to create an L shape. And look at that, I could create the same thing with Z. If I connect it to the point that I'm using to rotate with M, that creates an L shape. What if I connect it to L? It's more than the 90, see? So it's not going to be L, I know it's going to be M. Okay, that's how I figured that out. All right, now that I have it labeled, let's see how they named it. They named it X, Y, Z. So they started with X, then they went to Y. Where is X? X is right here, so that means that we're starting with N. N is the first one, okay? And then they went to Y. Where's Y? Y is right here. That means that we're talking about L. So the next one is L. And then finally, they talk about Z. Z is right here, which is the letter M. Okay, so my final answer is going to be NLM. That's the new name for the second triangle, which is in this case a red one. All right, 2B again, rotating. How to figure that out? Well, okay, let's point E, Okay. Point E, I'm going to help you out. Point E is going to be with H. Point F is going to be with G. And point J is going to be D. They named the triangle DEF. So how do you think we're going to name the second one? Alright, again, DEF. D is right here, so the first point should be J. Then you go to E. E is right here, which in this case is H. And then finally you go to F, which in this case is G. So the second triangle is going to be named JHG. And that's the first set of notes for target B. Just naming them. But just make sure that you follow the order.